Good morning. It's 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, way down there. Erin has local news up next.
The Mudbugs win. We'll talk more about that. Plus, the crews are now working feverishly to get George's Pond ready for the Miss USA pageant. We'll talk about that. Some very bad economic news for Louisiana today. And a man fights for his life after falling asleep on some train tracks and is hit by a train.
We have to talk about that. I need those details.
Okay.
Because we had the guy last week who parked his car. No, wait. His car stalled on the train tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I've got lots of questions. Yes, the Mudbugs winners last night at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum, but their season is not over. We'll talk about that first. Plus Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Mudbugs win the NAHL Southern Division, beating Lone Star in Game 5, 3-2. Now move on to Minnesota for the Final Four showdown. Game 1 is Friday. Meantime, crews will work feverishly to get George's Pond at the Hirsch transformed into a venue suitable for all the Miss USA events, which kick off later this week. The preliminary competition is May 17th. The Miss USA pageant, May 21st. Louisiana has the worst economy in the country. Matt Parker with that.
According to the Federal Bureau of Economic Analysis, Louisiana had the worst performing economy in 2017. According to the numbers, economic output across the country rose by 2.1%. However, Louisiana's economy shrank by 0.2%. One of the biggest reasons for the Bayou State's shrinking economy is poor performance in the oil refining and chemical industries. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Lawmakers must wrap things up in a month. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says legislation that has nothing to do with the budget is close to final passage, so the regular session could end up in a couple of weeks.
You've never seen both bodies work so fast to pass all the legislation that was proposed by various members, and they've done a great job on that. They've got just about cleared all of the bills that needed to be passed.
Lawmakers expected to look at taxing measures once they go into special session. Meantime, Senator Bill Cassidy telling KEEL News lawmakers and state leaders can do a better job managing our money.
On a per capita basis, Louisiana state government gets more money in taxes than Texas does, than Alabama, Florida, or Georgia. Now, you can't help but notice, you go to Houston, they're building more interstate in Houston and Harris County than we're building in the entire state of Louisiana. So we're not spending our money wisely.
Cassidy says the safety net hospitals should be a priority. A man fighting for his life after he was hit by a train Sunday night. It happened around 10:30 p.m. near the intersection of Mansfield and Midway. Police say the man was allegedly sleeping on the tracks when he was hit by the train. His legs were severed in the incident. 2 young children under age 10 were caught vandalizing the 81st Street ECE school in Shreveport. Police were called to the scene Saturday night, saw the children climbing out of a window when they arrived. According to reports, the kids caused about $10,000 worth of damage. The children will not likely face charges because of their age, but their parents will probably have to pay for some repairs. More than 900 Louisiana farmers and ranchers will get disaster grants to help them recover from the March and August 2016 floods. Louisiana's Ag Department says the average grant is close to $10,000. LaToya Cantrell takes over New Orleans today after 8 years of Mitch Landrieu. Political analyst Clancy DeBose says the former city council member's leadership style is more of a mystery than her predecessor, who was known statewide after serving as lieutenant governor.
She's more of a question mark than Landrieu was, because Landrieu had been in public office for a long time before he became mayor. So I think expectations were higher for Landrieu.
Cantrell arrives in office with a potential major scandal in the making. Attorney General Jeff Landry investigating the former city council member for potential misuse of a credit card. College football attendance has dropped 4 straight years nationwide, but LSU officials say they've only seen a 1% drop, despite not having a 10-win season since 2013. Fans are not giving up their season tickets. Foundation President Rick Perry says, if anything, tickets are becoming even more sought after.
Our wait list is actually longer than it was last year. Based on where we are, we could actually exceed last year.
Vladimir Putin takes the oath of office for his 4th term as Russian president in a ceremony in an ornate Kremlin hall. Ohio couple startled to find a man inside their home. He'd helped himself to sweets, then fell asleep on the couch of their apartment. He has been arrested. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Monday. Do. Traffic starting us off. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Well, let me begin the show by saying, grrr.
Yeah, you poor darlings.
Wow. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app's a free download from Office Furniture Source.
You guys are on fumes, I know.
Man, we were up late.
Yeah.
It's the game, the Mudbugs. It was pretty awesome. Pull up my Facebook page. if you can get to that get to that real quick, because I want you to read something. I have said on numerous occasions that if you are emotionally invested in a hockey team, like a lot of people are invested in LSU football or whatever it happens to be, the Saints, the Cowboys, that if you are emotionally invested in a hockey team, there is nothing more excruciatingly, horribly wonderful than a playoff game. So read, I think it's the last post I put up last night at maybe 10:30 or 10:45 or something.
Seriously, I couldn't look up during the last 5 minutes.
Couldn't.
Bugs win and pulse rates back down under 175.
The last 5
God,
minutes.
I know that feeling.
The last 5 minutes of the game, when about 4.5 of that was played in the Mudbugs' defensive zone. Winners last night, by the way, 3-2.
Yeah. Explain this playoff thing. We're done here at home, right?
Yeah.
How's that work?
The 4 division winners.
Okay.
Which is, let me think a second. Don't help me. Let me try this. Okay. So the Mudbugs win the South. The 3 other division winners are Fairbanks,
Alaska,
which is their nickname is the Embezzlers.
So let me guess, they're the West.
The Fairbanks Embezzlers.
They're from the West.
Then there's the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton cousin daters.
Are they the East or the North?
They're the Amish.
And and they that's why they go to one location, and it's closest to Wilkes-Barre because they are Amish and they travel in buggies.
Y'all are
and
so
then the
bad.
last team is Minot, North Dakota, the Minotauros.
Okay,
and
that's the
name,
North.
That name is for real.
Okay.
So
who do we play now?
Wilkes-Barre.
The Fighting Amish.
And is it a best of 5 series?
The Wilkes-Barre conscientious objectors. What?
Best of 5 series?
No, best of 3.
Best of 3.
The 2 semifinal series: Mudbugs against Wilkes-Barre, and Fairbanks against Minot is best of 3.
So we play the Amish starting Friday night.
Those are Friday and Saturday and Sunday if necessary.
And they're in Minnesota.
Blaine, Minnesota, just out near Duluth.
Okay.
And then on Monday is a 1-game championship. Now, I described this to Scott.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
1 game, all
Winner
or nothing?
take all, yeah.
Think of it this way. It's a 7-game series just without the first 6 games.
Wow.
So it's 1 game.
That's brutal.
The reason they do it that way is the league wants to, the way it was explained to me, the league wants to accentuate its developmental qualities and that the championship is not the most important thing. But let me tell you, if the Mudbugs win on Monday night, it will be the most important thing.
Oh, my gosh. And then they would win. What is the trophy called?
The Robertson Cup.
The Robertson Cup. Is it a big cup?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's interesting. The Robertson Cup is a cup.
Yes, it is. Just like the Stanley Cup or the Calder Cup.
We've never
when
won
we're-
it, have
Huh?
we? We've never won it, have we?
Nope. Second year in the league this year. And Lone Star, whom we beat last night, was the defending league champion.
Ooh.
So there you go.
How nasty was the game last night?
Not nasty at all.
A lot of fights?
It was no. You know, there's not a lot of fighting in playoff hockey because you don't want your best players. You don't want people sitting down.
Yeah.
So it gets a little chippy. It's a little more, certainly more intense.
Okay, I saw on social media we scored 2 goals in 7 seconds.
9 seconds.
9 seconds.
Yes.
Wow.
Scored on a power play and then literally on the face-off after.
Man, to
And
take
then
a 2-0 lead.
2-0 lead into the first. They came back and scored early in the second, like literally about 15 seconds into the second.
That's demoralizing.
Then we scored again in the second to make it 3-1. They scored it early in the third to make it 3-2, and that's how it ended.
Man, that's incredible.
It was. I was wound up. I mean, why didn't you just go home and go to bed? Because my pulse rate was like 170. Erin, I'm not joking. I could not look up. I'm sitting down there at the PA at the announcer's table, and I am looking down, pretending to. Remember when you were in like 4th or 5th grade, or even college in your case, and you're pretending to take notes.
Yeah.
And you're really just doodling,
Right.
and you're not paying the least bit of attention, and you're
I
hoping.
do that in here every morning.
And exactly.
We know.
I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to bring that up. So, like, you're just pretending to be paying attention, and you're a million miles away, and that's how I was. I could not look down. Like I started to say, the last 5 minutes of the game, I would say about 4 minutes, maybe a little more of that, was played in the Mudbugs defensive zone.
Ooh, boy.
Because at about 2 minutes left, Fort Worth Lone Star pulled the goalie, so they've got 6-on-5 attackers. And I just couldn't look up. I looked down at the copy that I didn't have to read. I was done. And I watched their goalie because I could tell from what he was doing, from his reaction, what was going on and from the crowd. But I could not. I was too nervous to look up.
That is so exciting.
I missed the end of the
luck.
game because my eyes were closed.
Wow.
They were driving, and I didn't want to see them score, so I just closed my eyes.
I was like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God.
Now, if they'd tied it up, it would have just gone into OT, right?
Play,
anything special for like a fifth game?
What they do is anytime in the playoffs is they keep playing like a regular game. In the regular season, they play a 5-minute 3-on-3 and then go to a shootout. In the playoffs, you take a full 20-minute intermission, and then you start playing. And the first
a whole nother period.
First goal wins.
Like a golden goal in soccer.
First goal wins.
Okay. Wow, that's exciting. So they're playing the Amish Friday night.
Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
In Minnesota.
In Blaine, Minnesota. God, the dialect is incredible.
I think it's a 7:30 puck drop, something like that.
We have the second game of the day, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's exciting.
So, but the reasons they play it there are twofold. Is one, travel expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine trying to play a home and home series with Fairbanks.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be just, or Wilkes-Barre, or Minot, North Dakota for that.
Right,
matter.
right.
And then the other reason is if it's a centralized location, like they did last year in Minnesota, that the college scouts and pro scouts can come there and see the guys play.
Okay.
All at one location.
Will there be a lot of scouts?
Yes.
There'll be a lot of them.
Yeah, because there still are some players. Now, there's a bunch of guys on the Mudbugs that are committed to colleges. Kieran Durgan is going to the Air Force Academy, I believe. Don Procopio, who's the captain, is committed to University of Massachusetts at Lowell, which is a big, big hockey school.
Do they age out of this league? Is there?
Yes, you can.
What is the deal with that?
22, I believe.
Okay, when you got to move
21
on.
or 22, I don't know.
You either go to college or something.
They're basically college age guys.
Oh, that's so cool. So exciting. So exciting.
I don't know.
I feel your pulse.
I'm looking forward to go. Maybe somebody has it on video, and I can go back and watch.
Right.
Because I didn't see it, and neither did Matt. I am fascinated. I saw this all weekend long, and I think you have it in an upcoming newscast. A lady goes into like a 7-Eleven, a Circle K.
Yeah.
And if you didn't hear this, she microwaved her urine. And
she did.
Now I don't know about you, but if somebody walks into a Circle K with a Tupperware filled, we'll discuss this when we come
I'm sure
back.
she had it in her purse.
It looked like
pardon?
soup.
Huh?
It looked like soup.
Yes, it's chicken broth.
My God, look at the time.
Want some?
20 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Sometimes people's logic just astonishes me.
I know.
20 past 6, traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. Roberts Baranowskis scored twice, and Jack Yannick added a sweet goal to help the Mudbugs beat Lone Star 3-2 in the deciding game of the North American Hockey League Division Finals Sunday night at George's Pond in Hirsch Coliseum. The win sends the second-year edition of Mudbugs to the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota, starting Friday against the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Knights. The winner of that best-of-3 series advances to the winner-take-all championship game, also in Blaine. Jackson Castor got the call in goal by Bugs coach Carlos Ziernes and rewarded him with a stellar game-winning performance. Baranowskis got the scoring started in the first period, and 9 seconds later, Yannick lit the lamp. The Brahmas made it 2-1 early in the second period, but the home team answered 3 minutes later with what turned out to be the decisive goal. LSU's NCAA baseball tournament hopes received a boost with a series win in Alex Box Stadium against fourth-ranked Arkansas thanks to Sunday's 7-5 win. Freshman A.J. Labus earned the win, going 6 innings and giving up just 1 run. The Hogs scored 4 runs in the 7th to make it a 6-5 game, but Matthew Beck picked up the save with 3 shutout innings. In the NBA playoffs, Golden State pushed New Orleans to the brink of elimination with a 116-92 rout in New Orleans to take a 3-1 series lead. And Houston also grabbed a 3-1 series lead over Utah with a 187 win in Salt Lake City. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-six past 6 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, when's the last time you took a drug test, if ever?
I've never taken a drug test.
Really?
Never.
You?
God,
Ever worked anywhere where you had to take one?
I think I took one when I first got hired here 10 years ago, but that's...
Maybe do they do something like that when you give blood? I mean, I know they test for HIV. I don't know if they test for drugs.
The last time I took one was when I was working in Cleveland the second time. I had to go take one.
Ooh, I take that back. One of the vehicles here, the wheel fell off and I hit my head, and for me to get treatment, I had to take a drug test. That was like 5 years ago.
I remember that. Yes, it was like, wasn't it on the old '99 vehicle?
Yeah, we were just got off the interstate, and the wheel decided that I didn't want to be attached to the car anymore.
We have some fine rides out here.
Beg your pardon?
We have upgraded. But we're still letting him drive them.
Yeah, because everything else died.
I remember the day that happened.
Yeah, that was fun.
He and Paul came limping in, and it was where's the van? And it was up the street.
Wheel fell off.
On 3 wheels.
Well, I knew it was trouble when I felt we hit a bump, and I looked out. What
Your
the
tire's
hell?
ahead of
and
you.
we just saw the tire rolling into the parking lot towards the Walmart gas station.
So the point being, a lady has to take a drug test, I guess.
Yeah, for a new job.
And so maybe she tried to smuggle in her own or someone else's. And believe me, if you have ever worked for a health facility that does this kind of thing, grab one of the people who work there, and they will have some amazing stories.
Oh, gosh, no doubt.
None
What
more.
what I want to know is
Why would you? Why?
if you heat up your urine in a microwave,
Wait. Stop.
will that kill
No.
drugs? I'm
See,
what a moron.
Not only do they test for drugs in your system, they take the temperature because if let's just say hypothetically you give a drug, a sample for a drug test, and it's ice cold. They know that didn't come out of your body, so you got to warm it up to body temperature.
by the
Well,
same
they don't want
token-
any hot pee
And by the same token,
like chicken soup temp.
And by the same token, if you bring it in about the temp of McDonald's coffee,
Yeah.
they know something may be awry.
Something's up.
Yes, exactly.
Who does that, though?
So this woman goes into the Circle K. Where was this? So obviously it may not have been
Ohio, I think.
So
Let
a
me-
7-Eleven
No, excuse me, Colorado.
a convenience store.
Yeah, 7-Eleven in Colorado.
And for some reason she thought that microwaving her or someone else's urine
Yeah.
was a better plan than going in and actually taking the test on her own.
Right. They actually caught up with her at the site where she was to take the test.
And it exploded?
Exploded in the microwave.
So she just
So
left
the
without
7-Eleven people called.
Yeah, I
and,
can imagine, yeah.
Maybe she
Yeah.
had some spare in her purse. I don't know.
Well, it's tough to pass a drug test with hot dog bits floating in your urine.
It's better than what was it, Lawrence Taylor, who just poured apple juice in a cup.
I'm telling you.
I think they'd find that out, wouldn't they?
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
If you want to hear some stories, here's mine. So we have to go. I don't have time. I apologize. We'll get to it later. But I mean, if you want to hear some amazing stories, find a nurse who works at a health clinic or a facility that does drug testing.
Oh gosh.
I mean, there's a reason they tape the windows shut. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has local news next. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near McDade Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The regular session must end in a month, but many believe it will end in mid-May so lawmakers can pass tax bills to address a $648 million shortfall. Bernie Pincinat says it remains to be seen if the Senate will act on the proposed budget or just wait for an anticipated special session.
If they can't pass a budget, then we're in unknown, uncharted territories where they would immediately probably go into a special session trying to pass a budget and pass the revenue that's needed to fund the budget.
U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy has some advice for lawmakers. He says that safety net hospitals should be a priority.
We have to be able to support those hospitals, but we have to spend the money we have wisely. Taxpayers are giving that money to the state government. You have to treat it like it's your own.
And meantime, on the economy, according to the Federal Bureau of Economic Analysis, Louisiana had the worst performing economy last year. According to the numbers, economic output across the country rose by 2.1%. However, Louisiana's economy shrank by 2%. Bossier Parish to look at new ordinances. Matt Parker with that.
The Bossier Parish Police Jury will soon take a look at ordinances to regulate billboards and cellular towers. Currently, there are no rules in place that regulates the size of either or how far they must be from residential neighborhoods. Sam Morsiglia from the Bossier Metropolitan Planning Commission says that with the advancements of technology, Bossier needs to take a look at regulating LED billboards that keep them from lighting up residential areas. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man fighting for his life after he was hit by a train last night. It happened about 10:30 near Mansfield and Midway. He was apparently sleeping on the tracks when he was hit by the train. His legs were severed. He was taken to University Health. 2 children under the age of 10 caught vandalizing the 81st Street ECE school in Shreveport. Police were called to the scene Saturday night, and when they got there, spotted the children climbing out of a window. According to reports, the kids caused about $10,000 worth of damage. A study is out reveals overwhelmingly that most workers and managers believe that what you wear to work has an impact on your chances of getting that big promotion. 80% of managers and 86% of workers feel that clothing affects your promotion chances. Office team president Brandy Britton says the old adage is still true.
Dress in the position that you want to be in. That old adage is still in place today. And if you are not sure, look at the employees around you and take it up a notch.
A light earthquake has shaken the Gulf of Mexico south of the Louisiana coast. It registered 4.6 on the Richter scale. The Mudbugs win the NAHL Southern Division, beating Lone Star in Game 5, 3-2. Now move on to Minnesota for the Final Four showdown. Meantime, crews will work feverishly to get George's Pond at the Hirsch transformed into a venue suitable for all the Miss USA events, which kick off later this week. The preliminary competition is May 17th, the Miss USA pageant, May 21st. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Are you raising your hand because you're dancing, or you have something to add to the program?
I have something to add to the program.
Knock yourself out.
Tomorrow night starts the high school graduations in our area. North Caddo, the first to go. Then
first to go.
Do you remember I was driving around the other day and I thought, what feeling gave me the most exhilarating feeling in my life? And I think that final day of high school, because I was realizing Friday a week ago or so what it was, the seniors' last day or whatever it was.
Right.
And I thought that last day of high school just made my my whole body, I can still feel that feeling.
Really?
Of I'll never have to do this again.
You
I'm
lived
done.
a very sheltered life, didn't you?
No, I mean, later in life, I had much more exhilarating things,
So,
wedding and birth of children and all that.
I was just going to say, so just ahead of your wedding and the birth of your children was
but
the last day of high school.
But I mean, think of that feeling. Didn't you have that?
No.
I had that feeling that final day.
No, I didn't want high school.
When I graced those doors, I was like, wow.
No, I was depressed.
I'm a grown-up now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off to college. I'm going off to start my career.
Mine were just the opposite.
Really?
I did not
You
want
missed high school?
The reason I went to LSUS for 2 years is because I didn't want high school to be over.
Wow. See, I was so, that was just,
Oh, no.
I can still feel that feeling, and I can visualize myself crossing the threshold at Baton Rouge High in Baton Rouge and thinking, and walking out to my car and thinking, wow, I'm done. Not that I hated it or anything, but I was like, I have finished 13 years of a pretty big deal. I finished,
so you were just like glad.
I was ecstatic.
Really?
That was it. It was almost like a huge burden was relieved from me.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just indifferent to the whole thing. It was just another day.
No. But I don't remember my graduation ceremony at all.
Well,
I remember being in a green cape and
Slow gin will do that.
cap
to
and
us.
gown.
Yeah.
And I don't remember my college graduation ceremony at all.
Yeah.
But I remember that day, that final day of high school. And I was like, oh, and I'm thinking about all those kids. And I know a lot of people listening have kids or grandkids that are wrapping it up and you got to go to graduations. But I had one question for you. Is a $25 graduation gift today a cheapskate? Is that a cheapskate?
I have no idea.
It depends on how close you are to the kid, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're like a distant cousin or something, who cares?
Do you have to match what they gave to your kid when they graduated 4 or 5 years ago?
We're talking about the particulars, and we're talking about the.
If you were to get an invitation today from, let's say my son was graduating this year,
I'm tied up.
what would you send as a gift? What would be
a
the
note that
Bob
said,
check?
Stay out of broadcasting. 6:39. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin traffic update. Ruben's here on KEEL.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
.641, it's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. What is the latest, the update, the skinny, if you will, on HB 885, the Cedric Glover bill, which would mandate parity spending on all the state charity hospitals?
Well, you asked me to send a text out.
We'll get to that. Is there any late breaking news?
I don't think it's made it. I don't think it's passed on the House floor yet.
No, they haven't voted
Matt
yet.
can check. I don't think they've done that. But We sent out a text
Hold on, just slow. Let's bring this up. Let's bring.
I gotta find these.
Let's bring everybody up to date. It's the Cedric Glover bill, HB 885, that would, by law, mandate parity spending on the state's charity hospitals.
Yes.
Right now, according to a lot of people, and the first thing it would do is mandate an audit of the state and the charity hospital. In other words, the safety, like University Health here.
Which would show whether or not this disparity really exists.
Because there's a lot of people who will say that we get, and Cedric has said for a while, that we get 32 cents on the dollar for New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans people are sicker.
That's what the guy said.
Yeah.
I forget his name. What was his name? Jeff Reynolds, the Undersecretary of the Department of Health and Human Services for Louisiana. He explained. But doesn't that tell you, look, hasn't Representative Glover and others said for some time, in fact, the Cedric line is, the fix is in. Hasn't he said that for all? That may be an exact quote. I'm pretty sure that's an exact quote that he says.
Very well might be.
That he has said that there are political and business leaders in South Louisiana who want to choke off our part of the state. And part of that is University Health Hospital, and part of that is a great part, the University Health Hospital and the medical school.
That's exactly what he says.
So when Jeff, what was his name, Reynolds?
Jeff Reynolds, yeah.
The, I guess, number 2 guy.
Department of Health and Hospitals, yeah.
Department of, is it Health and Hospitals? Health and Human, okay. Department of Health and Hospitals says and justifies New Orleans getting more money than us. And he says, well, they're sicker. And I said, what, chlamydia is worse south of I-10? What the hell?
Oh, boy.
But doesn't that give some credence to what Cedric says?
It absolutely does.
When they go reaching, when South Louisiana Pauls go reaching for explanations, well, you know, our guys are sicker down here. You don't have to read between the lines. You don't need a microscope. It's like a freaking billboard. We get the most money. In fact, and this is the interesting thing, because Matt brought up an awesome point last week. And I'm going to preface it with this. This Cedric bill, and we get these texts, it's Glover. I don't like Glover. He's a Democrat.
There must be something in it for him. Yeah.
And the point is this, understand, this has nothing to do, let me say this again, in great big bold caps, super font. This has nothing to do with party. The guy from Lake Charles, the Republican guy, hold on, I've got his name right here. Bear with me just a second.
Abraham, I think, or Abram.
Mark Abraham was the legislator, the representative from Lake Charles, a Republican who opposes the Glover bill because he says, literally, do we still have that soundbite anywhere? How long would it take to dig up? He literally says, I will vote against this because I am not taking any money away from my district, from my constituents, from my hospital. This has nothing to do in a world where everything.
So that finite UPL poop.
Be one of those. When you have Republicans saying, no, it's a bad idea because I'll lose an election. Not taken away from my people.
Well, first here is Jeff Reynolds when he tried to explain why New Orleans gets more money.
This is the DHH guy.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Why New Orleans gets more money than University Health.
In New Orleans, they have the sickest clients. I've got some charts here that I'd be glad to share with the committee that show that for every client, New Orleans spends about $1.60, and Shreveport spends about $1.20. So there is some built-in cost differences.
And this is your buddy Mark Abraham,
Republican
from Lake Charles.
Yes, who's against the bill.
Yep, he was talking to Glover, told him why he couldn't support it.
So that finite UPL pool, okay, could be detrimental to the other hospitals, not Shreveport in New Orleans. That's my issue that I have with this.
That is a possibility, yes, sir.
For that reason, I mean, I can't support it because of that reason. I can't jeopardize losing dollars at the other safety net hospitals.
So I had said on Friday, I said, you know what we need to do next thing is to canvass area legislators, specifically on the House side.
You bet.
The Dodie Hortons and the Raymond Cruz and the Alan Seabaws.
Thomas Carmody, Larry Bagley, all of them.
So who did you hear back from and what did they say?
Well, I asked them all, are you voting for Cedric's hospital bill?
Run them down one by one.
I haven't heard back from Alan Seabaugh.
Okay, Republican.
Thomas Carmody said,
Republican.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Larry Bagley.
Republican.
I'm still looking at it. Not sure yet. Dodie Horton.
Republican.
Let's see. She says, I thought he turned it into a study. If so, I will wholeheartedly support it. I, along with several lawmakers, have been discussing Glover's bill. It seems that several amendments must be adopted into his bill before he can secure enough votes to pass it. Could have sworn he mentioned turning it into a study resolution.
There's a mandatory audit. I know.
But things are moving so fast, it's hard to even remember. Got this from Raymond Cruz.
Republican.
Still getting information on it. He just got back from his mother's funeral.
Right.
And I have not heard back yet from Alan Seabaugh.
Okay.
He may have been out of town. I'm not sure. But that's where we are on it. He's got one yes, and the rest, I'm looking at it.
648, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic and weather, and Your Money Now coming up next, and it's here on KEEL.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near McDade Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROW.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.652, time for KEEL Sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. Roberts Baranowskis scored twice, and Jack Yannick added a sweet goal to help the Mudbugs beat Lone Star 3-2 in the deciding game of the North American Hockey League Division Finals Sunday night at George's Pond in Hirsch Coliseum. The win sends the second-year edition of Mudbugs to the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota, starting Friday against the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Knights. The winner of that best-of-3 series advances to the winner-take-all championship game, also in Blaine. Jackson Castor got the call in goal by Bucks coach Carlos Ziernes and rewarded him with a stellar game-winning performance. Baranowskis got the scoring started in the first period, and 9 seconds later, Yannick lit the lamp. The Brahmas made it 2-1 early in the second period, but the home team answered 3 minutes later with what turned out to be the decisive goal. LSU's NCAA baseball tournament hopes received a boost with a series win in Alex Box Stadium against fourth-ranked Arkansas thanks to Sunday's 7-5 win. Freshman A.J. Labus earned the win, going 6 innings and giving up just 1 run. The Hogs scored 4 runs in the 7th to make it a 6-5 game, but Matthew Beck picked up the save with 3 shutout innings. In the NBA playoffs, Golden State pushed New Orleans to the brink of elimination with a 116-92 rout in New Orleans to take a 3-1 series lead. And Houston also grabbed a 3-1 series lead over Utah with a 187 win in Salt Lake City. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Hey there, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty for Twin City Appliance. Wait. Hey there, Robert J. Wright and extremely satisfied Twin City Appliance customer Erin McCarty for Twin City Appliance online, twincityappliance.com.
Had a little problem with the fridge. Twin City came out. My guy checked it out. He said, look, we're going to double check, make sure I've got the problem right. We're going to defrost your fridge for 24 or 48 hours. Then I'm going to come back and make sure I'm going to blow out the drain, make sure that was the problem. We'll get it all hooked up. So they'll be back today.
Yeah.
And that all comes in one service call. It's a 30-day service call. So they come fix a problem. Let's say within the next 30 days, you still have an ongoing issue. They'll come back and not charge you another penny.
Twin City Appliance, there's a reason they have been the Arklatex top major appliance repair service for more than 3 decades. Find out more online, twincityappliance.com, or call 318-688-0253. I am intrigued that you are able to trans-channel the emotions of 18-year-old Erin McCarty when you're talking about the day you graduated high school.
Yeah, that was I just remember it.
I had no
Do you remember the last day of high school?
Yeah, I didn't want to graduate high school. I wanted high school to go on forever. High school was awesome. I was that kid that loved high school. And I wasn't a jock, obviously. I was not one of the big popular, hey, baby, guys. Oh, we got to go. We'll talk about this later.
I got an email from the governor's people. They're not happy with you.
6:56. Here's Rush on KEEL.
Like most other Democrat-run cities, Seattle has housing problems. Prices are out of reach for both renters and buyers, and there is a big homeless problem. They're everywhere. So Seattle City Council's come up with an idea. They are proposing a new tax The tax would only affect the largest businesses in the city, supposedly. On top of what they're already paying, these companies would be taxed another $500 per employee. The revenue would be used to fix the housing crisis, supposedly, except it won't because they can't. Seattle's existence demonstrates they can't and don't know what they're doing. Now, the plan was moving full steam ahead until Amazon announced it is immediately stopping construction on the new facility they're building downtown, which put 7,000 new jobs at risk. Amazon's decision caused panic to erupt in Seattle's liberal corridors of power. The mayor is alarmed. She says that she's talking to business and labor leaders, anybody she has to, in order to find common ground. But remember, Seattle just saw a bunch of jobs disappear when they imposed a so-called living wage on businesses. It closed a bunch of restaurants. And here they are again. You see, liberals never learn. There is no common ground to be found with these people. Jeff Bezos, hold your ground, buddy. Say, folks, if you own land, I'm sure you would love to have the time to work it, develop it, spend time with it. If so, go see my good friends at Mahindra. Because for a limited time, you can get one of Mahindra's best-selling tractors, the 2555 Shuttle with loader, and get up to $9,000 off MSRP. With 55 horsepower, it's great for all of you hobby farmers. Plus, the 2555 includes an industry-leading 7-year limited powertrain warranty. Mahindra also offers a full lineup of tractors from 20 horsepower all the way up to 125 horsepower. For offer details or to learn more about the world's #1 selling tractor, visit MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic on Uri Drive near Southfield Road, and we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 7 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, shivering down at the other end. Erin has local news up next.
Bad economic news for Louisiana. We'll talk more about that. A man hit by a train. His legs are severed. And a woman goes into a 7-Eleven and tries to heat something up. Now she's in trouble.
Wow. Wait till you hear. No, seriously. So you got an email from the governor about me?
Yeah, they're not happy with you.
About me?
Uh-huh.
We will get to that first. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Some bad economic news. The Federal Bureau of Economic Analysis says Louisiana had the worst performing economy in 2017. According to the numbers, economic output across the country up by 2.1%, but Louisiana's economy shrank by 2%. One of the biggest reasons? Poor performance in the oil refinery and chemical industries. The regular session must end in a month, but many at the Capitol believe it will end in mid-May so lawmakers can pass tax bills in a special session. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says bills about riverboat gaming being allowed on land and a constitutional amendment that would require unanimous jury verdicts in criminal trials are still being considered. Pincinat says there's a chance that legislation stalls as the clock ticks down.
The question is, will those bills get caught up in the background noise and the various fights that are taking place on what's the appropriate budget?
The House did pass a spending plan that would enact deep spending cuts in health care, potentially ending public-private partnership hospitals. U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy tells KEEL News that's just not the answer.
We have a budget right now in our state which is obviously running a deficit. And so as a result, the LSU hospitals are bearing the brunt of the tax cuts. Now, it's kind of crazy.
No word yet whether or not the Senate will take up that budget. A man fights for his life after he was hit by a train last night. Happened around 10:30 at Mansfield and Midway. Police believe the man was sleeping on the tracks when he was hit. His legs were severed. Police say his injuries are considered life-threatening. The Mudbugs win the NAHL Southern Division, beating Lone Star in Game 5 3-2. Now move on to Minnesota for the Final Four showdown. Game 1 is Friday. Meantime, crews will work feverishly to get George's Pond at the Hirsch transformed into a venue suitable for all the Miss USA events, which kick off later this week. The preliminary competition is May 17th, the Miss USA pageant, May 21st. The Bossier Police Jury will soon take a look at ordinances to regulate billboards and cellular towers. Currently, there are no rules in place that regulate the size of either or how far they must be from residential neighborhoods. 2 young children busted vandalizing a school. Matt Parker with that.
2 young children under the age of 10 were caught vandalizing the 81st Street ECE school in Shreveport. Police were called to the scene around 7 Saturday night and saw the children climbing out of a window when they arrived. According to reports, the kids caused about $10,000 worth of damage at the school. The children won't face charges because of their age, but their parents will probably have to pay for repairs. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
4 Florida high school seniors slain in a mass shooting were honored by their classmates celebrating their senior prom. There was a room set aside for anyone needing quiet reflection. And a Colorado woman cited by police after a container of what appeared to be urine blew up as she was heating it up in a microwave at a 7-Eleven. Police found the woman at a nearby clinic where she'd planned to take a urinalysis test for a potential employer. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Greenwood Road and Hearn Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Eleven past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source.
Dopes.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so I don't know about this. You need to check when these emails come in, like on Friday or Saturday or whatever day this came in. You need to pass these along to me so I know that
I forgot to send this one to you.
Seemingly, once again, have gotten on the governor's bad side. I don't want to be on the governor's bad
find
side.
It again,
I want him to be a Republican like me. I want him to have a conservative approach to economics and social causes.
Yeah, this is from Deputy Chief of Staff.
Oh, is that good or bad?
Yeah, well, you know.
Deputy, like they carry a gun and a
Yeah,
badge?
still six figures, probably.
Is there going to be a knock at my door?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
Can I ask what this is about? Erin, can I ask what this is about?
Wait. They don't know? They're texting you about something that they don't know about?
I don't know. They're just, no, they're upset. Quote, John Bell for increased minimum wage but higher taxes too. That's a headline you wrote on a story.
Let's not ignore this. Okay, so repeat that again with, one of the voices that I do that annoys you the most is what I call the acting
Oh, dear
voice.
God, please. You
So
want me to
would
do that in that voice?
Well, yeah, because I want you to accentuate the headline that I wrote at KEELnews.com.
Erin, can I ask what this is about?
John Bell for increased minimum wage but higher taxes too?
Okay, what's wrong about that?
I would copy Robert.
Hang on just a second. Let's
Pretty accurate, huh?
He
says revenue neutral. He
Yeah.
says any of his increases would be revenue neutral.
Right,
He'd balance them out with something
okay,
else.
So he's for increased taxes.
And, that's not what he says.
Okay.
Let
so
me
John,
finish. This is a good email. Let me get to it.
Wait.
It's juicy.
Okay, hold on. But he is for increased taxes, and he is for an increased minimum wage.
He's for an increased minimum wage.
And he's
taxes, he will say revenue neutral.
I don't care what he says.
I know.
I mean, I do care what he says because
it means more money to the state.
Yes. Okay. If the state
we have a $600 million deficit. How's that going to be revenue neutral?
If you
somebody explain that to me, Lucy.
If you give me $1 a month, and suddenly I tell you you have to give me $1.25 a month, is that an increase or not?
That's an increase. Yeah.
Okay. This case is closed.
No matter where it's coming from.
Go ahead.
I would copy Robert on this email, but don't have his contact info. I don't mean to be short, but you guys have made it a habit of criticizing the governor and being disrespectful. Am I being disrespectful?
Yes, you are.
Sorry,
you are.
my bad.
Right now, you're doing everything they told you that I was doing.
And being disrespectful on the air, but don't give us a chance to respond. Louisiana is only one of 5 states without a state minimum wage. To suggest that the governor is only doing it because it could possibly bring in more state taxes is absolutely absurd.
No, it's not.
This is an issue that he and many candidates ran for governor on in 2015. Wait, here's the best part.
Okay, go ahead.
I realize.
I'm down here jumping up and down.
I know. Hold on to your booty.
I'm trying.
I realize you and Robert have your opinions and disagree with the governor, but given that he and his staff are routinely accessible to you, I would hope that you would, at the very least, give us the opportunity to respond to the ridiculous and often misinformed claims you've made about him on the air lately. Is this what we can continue to expect from KEEL?
Okay, here's the tragic, I'm not going to say tragic, but tragic irony of an increased minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
John Bell and the Democrats are for more money. They say we need, meaning you, the employer. It's basically a tax on the underclass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, if you increase minimum wage to $15 an hour,
right,
you are mandating that an employer spend more of his or her money on those people, on the people who are making minimum wage.
Sure.
Right? And then the state turns around and takes more money from the people who are getting the pay increase.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again without trying to pass out because I'm so upset. Basically, what a minimum wage does is, let me say this again, the state, look, I'm going in a million directions here. I'm coming out of my pants. Could have phrased that better too.
Please do.
Well, they're a little big. So the point being that John Bell has been for a $15. Well, actually, he wanted to go up to $8.25. So nationally, you're seeing, in fact, the mayor of New Orleans, the new mayor, LaToya Cantrell, has called for a $15 an hour minimum wage in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So you mandate that employers pay the minimum wage employees almost double.
Right.
Then you tax them more on top of that.
Yep.
Is that mistaken? Is that misplaced?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But I mean, you're going to be the first to know if indeed we have a $600 million budget deficit.
A number that keeps bopping around, by the way.
It does keep bopping
Started
around.
off, it was like $1 billion. Then it was $600 million, now $300 million, $400 million. Settle on a number. I'm not the one who videotaped Jay Darden talking about finance swaps.
Yes.
And I'm not the one who has the videotape, the audio of Jay Darden saying, when we were talking about finance swaps, I never said those were cuts.
Mm-hmm.
The governor was the one that said, the governor was the one who literally called budget cuts, delaying payments to Medicaid providers.
Right.
That's not me. I need to send him an email. Give me that guy. I'm going full Erin McCarty on this one.
Going nuts, aren't you?
Where you literally get so frustrated that you are incapable of putting
can't even speak
a sentence together.
Can't even speak sometimes. You're right. You know what? I have since requested the governor to come on the air with us, and I'm not going to say ignored, but I'm waiting on a response.
But you're 100% right. He'll come on and say it's revenue neutral. No matter what I say, he's going to say it's revenue neutral.
Right.
No matter what numbers we have, no matter what anything, he's going to say it's revenue neutral.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, when that penny sales tax comes off on June 30th, anything beyond that is a tax increase.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's not like the governor, it's not like John Bell, the governor of Louisiana, didn't want a 20+ cent a gallon gas tax increase.
Right.
Right?
That's true.
Would you call that a tax increase?
That's a tax increase.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
18 past 7 o'clock. Give me a minute. We're going to go to break. I'm going to calm down. I know how you feel.
They're shaking their finger at you.
I don't like it. I don't like feeling like you. It's a horrible feeling. Next thing you know, I'll be making fun of myself. 18 past 7 o'clock, traffic and weather up. Next, here on KEEL. FM. 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Spur in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
20 past 7 o'clock, Fletcher Sports Time, KEEL.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. Roberts Baranowskis scored twice, and Jack Yannick added a sweet goal to help the Mudbugs beat Lone Star 3-2 in the deciding game of the North American Hockey League Division Finals Sunday night at George's Pond in Hirsch Coliseum. The win sends the second-year edition of Mudbugs to the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota, starting Friday against the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Knights. The winner of that best-of-3 series advances to the winner-take-all championship game, also in Blaine. Jackson Castor got the call in goal by Bugs coach Carlos Ziernes and rewarded him with a stellar game-winning performance. Baranowskis got the scoring started in the first period, and 9 seconds later, Yannick lit the lamp. The Brahmas made it 2-1 early in the second period, but the home team answered 3 minutes later with what turned out to be the decisive goal. LSU's NCAA baseball tournament hopes received a boost with a series win in Alex Box Stadium against fourth-ranked Arkansas thanks to Sunday's 7-5 win. Freshman A.J. Labus earned the win, going 6 innings and giving up just 1 run. The Hogs scored 4 runs in the 7th to make it a 6-5 game, but Matthew Beck picked up the save with 3 shutout innings. In the NBA playoffs, Golden State pushed New Orleans to the brink of elimination with a 116-92 rout in New Orleans to take a 3-1 series lead. And Houston also grabbed a 3-1 series lead over Utah with a 187 win in Salt Lake City. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Hey.
24 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, the KEEL app, a free download. It is Office Furniture Source who brings that to us, and it sounds better than ever. What's the status on the KEEL AM transmitter?
Still working on it.
We're getting like a brand new one or something.
Yeah, we're getting some newfangled gizmos and gadget whoppers.
Did I heard some people talking in the hall about that, like engineers and managers and stuff, and they said this is like well into six figures, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is an upgrade that's
big time.
That'll be awesome.
We are getting a nice, shiny new buzz-a-boo-juju.
Oh, God.
Everyone
flux
needs
capacitor.
Oh, we all need them.
So if you have been listening, if you are a regular listener to KEEL on the AM terrestrial signal at 710, and you've noticed, hey, that's not going as far. We had a little problem with that about 2 or 2.5 weeks ago, and have been on low power for a while. A brand new transmitter is on the way. The FM still sounds awesome. I got that as far south. Now, understand, the FM, it's called a regurgitator. The FM regurgitator, what?
I don't think it's a regurgitator.
What is it?
A repeater?
I'm sorry, what?
A repeater?
That's what I said. Okay, so the FM repeatator sounds like Russia's addictomy. So the FM repeatator is basically pointed to the north, to cover the parts of Shreveport that when the AM was granted its original license didn't cover. So the point being that by its design, the FM at 101.7 aims north and east out toward Houghton. But our engineers have done such an awesome job. It literally is like a full-service, full-power FM. I picked it up down south of Southern Trace Golf Course the other afternoon, which is pretty darned impressive.
Right.
But
it is going to be booming soon.
But we urge that you download the free app from Office Furniture Source, because you can listen to that worldwide on your car. Everybody's got that little media connector now, and it's pretty awesome. So, do we have a time frame on this new?
It's at least a 2 to 4 week install.
Yeah.
But I know we got the thumbs up from the big shots up in New York City.
Where are they?
New York
Is that
City.
how they talk up there?
I think we got
My
the
God, it's like
I'm excited about
like
it.
Donald Trump's in
We're
the room.
gonna be booming. It's gonna be so cool.
In the last segment, Erin read the email we got from the governor's office saying that I had said incorrectly that he's for an increased minimum wage and increased taxes. Okay, I guess I'm just wrong.
You're missing it, man. Like you said earlier, if they are originally getting $1 and they go up to $1.50, and then they come back and say, "Hey, we only want $1.25. That's reducing your taxes,
It's like
pal."
a tax cut.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So the point being that you had a line that you had, and I want you to pull the news story up about the special session. I think it was your lead at 7 o'clock. And I wrote the quote down. Special session can pass tax bills in a special session. Could you have the story in front of you?
Yep.
Read that to us.
Regular session must end in a month, but many believe it will end in mid-May, so lawmakers can pass tax bills to address a $648 million shortfall.
Okay, so if you pass new tax bills that are not currently on the books, that would qualify as a new tax.
New tax.
And a new tax would be an increase.
Increase, yeah.
An increase.
I don't think they're going to go into special session to lower our taxes. Never heard of them doing that.
So we're going to have a special session that according can pass tax bills in a special session, which means that the governor and his minions, Jay Darden et al., will attempt to
raise taxes.
I feel like I'm going werewolf down here.
Oh, yeah.
Raise the taxes. Okay?
Yep.
I just wanted to clear that up.
Expect them to extend that penny sales tax or a part of it.
It's not the Republicans. It's not the Dodie Hortons. It's not the Alan Seabaws. It's not the Raymond Cruz of the world who are saying, you Louisianans are undertaxed.
Right.
We've got this fiscal cliff. Who's been making the big deal about who has been trumpeting the approaching tragedy of a fiscal cliff? It hasn't been the Republicans. It's been John Bell. That we need more revenue to pay to fill this gap.
Right.
So I hearken back. I got an email. You got an email about me from the governor's press people, media people, digital people saying that I was incorrect in saying that the governor was for increased taxes and an increased minimum wage.
Yes.
So we can get to the special session so they can, what was that again?
Raise taxes.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 F. I must be missing it somewhere. 29 past 7 o'clock, KEEL traffic right now. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Westburg Coons Industrial Loop near Kingston Road. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The regular session must end in a month, but many believe it will end in mid-May so lawmakers can pass tax bills to address a $648 million shortfall. Bernie Pincinat says it remains to be seen if the Senate will act on the proposed budget or just wait for an anticipated special session.
If they can't pass a budget, then we're in unknown, uncharted territories where they would immediately probably go into a special session trying to pass a budget and pass the revenue that's needed to fund the budget.
U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy has some advice for lawmakers. He says that safety net hospitals should be a priority.
We have to be able to support those hospitals, but we have to spend the money we have wisely. Taxpayers are giving that money to the state government. You have to treat it like it's your own.
And meantime, on the economy, according to the Federal Bureau of Economic Analysis, Louisiana had the worst performing economy last year. According to the numbers, economic output across the country rose by 2.1%. However, Louisiana's economy shrank by 2%. Bossier Parish to look at new ordinances. Matt Parker with that.
The Bossier Parish Police Jury will soon take a look at ordinances to regulate billboards and cellular towers. Currently, there are no rules in place that regulates the size of either or how far they must be from residential neighborhoods. Sam Morsiglia from the Bossier Metropolitan Planning Commission says that with the advancements of technology, Bossier needs to take a look at regulating LED billboards that keep them from lighting up residential areas. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man fighting for his life after he was hit by a train last night. It happened about 10:30 near Mansfield and Midway. He was apparently sleeping on the tracks when he was hit by the train. His legs were severed. He was taken to University Health. 2 children under the age of 10 caught vandalizing the 81st Street ECE school in Shreveport. Police were called to the scene Saturday night, and when they got there, spotted the children climbing out of a window. According to reports, the kids caused about $10,000 worth of damage. A study is out reveals overwhelmingly that most workers and managers believe that what you wear to work has an impact on your chances of getting that big promotion. 80% of managers and 86% of workers feel that clothing affects your promotion chances. Office team president Brandy Britton says the old adage is still true.
Dress in the position that you want to be in. That old adage is still in place today. And if you are not sure, look at the employees around you and take it up a notch.
A light earthquake has shaken the Gulf of Mexico south of the Louisiana coast. It registered 4.6 on the Richter scale. The Mudbugs win the NAHL Southern Division, beating Lone Star in Game 5, 3-2. Now move on to Minnesota for the Final Four showdown. Meantime, crews will work feverishly to get George's Pond at the Hirsch transformed into a venue suitable for all the Miss USA events, which kick off later this week. The preliminary competition is May 17th, the Miss USA pageant, May 21st. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Spearfishing.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 736. Mr. Eric Rosenstrauch is CEO of Fuel Partnerships. It is a retail marketing and research agency. Hey, Mr. Eric, how are you this morning?
I am great. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I got this email from you guys, and it says, I'm going to read what it says. Mother's Day spending is, because it's this Sunday, Mother's Day spending is expected to reach $23.6 billion this year. I want to start off with this. Erin has 2 sons. How does she ensure she gets more than her share?
She needs to treat them really well and be nice to them, I think.
It's too late. Oh, man, you are doomed.
What does Mom really want this year, Eric? I can help you with that, but I know you know.
Yeah, it's been great to see how things have changed. I mean, spending, it's amazing. Since 2009, Americans are spending 61% more on Mother's Day. So clearly Mom has become super important to all of us. 86% of Americans are going to go ahead and spend this year. And it seems that, to me, there's a couple areas that are really jumping out. Of course, most people, 69% of people, are going to spend money on flowers. Believe it or not, $2.6 billion on flowers. And 55% of people are going to take Mom out for a meal, right? Whether it be dinner or brunch, about $4.4 billion, going into restaurants. But the number one category in spending is jewelry. So $4.6 billion being spent on
Eric,
jewelry.
I am intrigued. Which, because I'm thinking back, it's because I'm in my early 60s, and I'm looking back at my relationship with my parents, how it would be sort of a up and down thing through my young and middle ages. And I'm thinking, what demographic spends the most on their moms? What demographic spends the least?
I don't have the least in front of me. But the biggest spend would be sort of where you would expect. It's people aged 35 to 44.
So the ones who need to borrow money from their parents the most.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I think at 35, 44, right, most people have kids themselves. I think that's when you really start to appreciate how much Mom did for you when you were growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once you become a parent yourself, you realize, oh, my God, I was a terror to my mother. I better repay her right now.
Eric, has this switched to a lot of it is online purchasing now, I would assume?
It's interesting. That also varies by age. So, for instance, what we would call the millennial or maybe the Gen Z generations, call it the 18 to 24-year-olds, they are going to spend about 62% using their smartphones. However, while I know the media loves to talk about how everything is switching to online and mobile phones, I want to point something out. Really, 64% of most Americans are going to buy their gift at either a department store or a specialty store. That's going to be, kind of like a florist, a jeweler, maybe electronics. And overall, from total America, only 31% are buying online. But it is that younger millennial, right? That 62%, double that amount of the average American are switching everything to technology at this point.
Let me ask you this. When you talk about flowers and out to eat, if you wait to the last minute, will you have to pay more, wait in lines, et cetera? What should we expect if we wait to the end of the week?
It's a perfect question, Erin. I think what you're seeing is that people who are a little bit more pre-planned are able to buy online. Right, they're able to buy online. They get maybe some special deals. Even Costco, for instance, they had an amazing deal online of ordering roses in advance. Almost you got double the amount for the same price that right now you can buy a single dozen in store. So as we get closer, you're right, all of those sales are going to shift at retail. Most people, if you're going to wait till this weekend, you can't order in advance, right? You've got to go grab whatever's there, whether it be that flower stand at the roadside or going to your local flower shop. And I think you're not going to pay more per se, but you might not get that added value as if you plan ahead and do some ordering online. So I think that's a big difference you're going to see.
You had mentioned a couple of seconds ago, here's between the ages of 35 and 44, we'll spend an average of $224 on mom.
Mom for the day.
Yeah, that's
so that's gifts, that's dinner, that's kind of the whole day you're going to spend for mom.
That's I would imagine in a metropolitan area like New York or San Francisco, that's sort of run of the mill. But for people in Shreveport, and I would think across the South, or at least smaller towns across the South, they're looking at $225. They're going, man, that's a big chunk of change. Do you have any kind of breakdown or any sense based on your experience that in different parts of the country that maybe we spend a little less on moms south of the Manson-Nixon line?
Right. No, I think that it's all going to be relative to to the cost of living and where you live, of course, right? So metropolitan areas where things are more expensive by nature, meals are more expensive. That's going to draw the average up. Now remember, the average American is going to spend $180. So it just seems to be that that's a pretty big difference. That $224. That $44 difference for that age group is pretty substantial, right? It's over 25% additional spend in that age. So it just, again, I think it matters a little bit more on where you are. Typically that age group of 35 to 44, that's kind of often the highest earning in America. The highest earners are in that group in America as well. So, I think it all vacillates. But I'll tell you, there is one thing that's really different now that we're finding with moms. And I think it's a little bit about generational. You spoke about this. I think moms in the past were looking for more of that nice gift. But what's really become interesting is that almost a third of moms want an experience today. And experience, what I mean by that is maybe mom wants a spa day, kind of give me a day to get away from the family. Maybe it's going out to my favorite concerts with my girlfriends and kind of having a little bit more mom time, kind of a little bit more me time. And actually, gym memberships are really growing in what mom's asking for as well. Kind of almost, I think, as moms are getting younger, they want less of a material gift and more of an experience to enjoy their life.
Seems like moms just want to get away from the family.
Mom just wants quality time with the kids. I'm going to tell you.
Erin's sons, by the way, have started a GoFundMe account. Eric Rosenstrauch, CEO, Fuel Partnerships, Retail Marketing and Research Agency. Eric, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. And moms out there, have a great Mother's Day. Enjoy it for yourself.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. What you got, kids?
Next, that video that's going viral with that Shreveport police officer.
In the meantime, traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Westford Coons Industrial Loop near Kingston Road. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
744, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. What you got down there? I don't know anything about this.
Well, this video is going viral, and you can see it at keelnews.com. I questioned whether or not to post it because it's got really, really foul language in it. We'll play a piece of the audio later in the 8 o'clock hour. There's a lot of editing I've got to do to it. But this is a Shreveport police officer responding to a call, and the officer clearly loses his cool. And he's screaming at a young man who's sitting down. The officer using pretty foul language.
What's the context? Can you tell?
We don't know the context of the call, like why they were called there. I think it had something to do with loud music, that a neighbor called for loud music at this one particular home. And the officer comes. He's got his baton out in one hand. The young man, he looks like to be a teenager, is sitting down. And the officer comes over him, and I'm going to quote the officer right now, but I'm going to leave out some of the bombs, okay? Damn right I'll put my hands on you any bleeping time I want to. You bleeping swing on me, mother bleeper, and I'll whip your bleeping A. Record it. Record me whipping his A. And in the video, you'll see and you'll hear the foul language. Now, SPD issued this statement over the weekend, and and this is one of the reasons why I published it, because they are now acknowledging that this was out of line. Shreveport Police Chief, and this is a quote, Shreveport Police Chief Alan Crump has ordered an inquiry into a video which recently surfaced on social media in which a Shreveport Police patrol officer is seen engaging a man in a manner not in line with departmental practices. A preliminary investigation into the officer's actions is underway, and appropriate personnel actions will be administered according to policy. Now, I have confirmed the officer involved is reportedly Gary Thomas, who was fired by SPD last year in August, Matt, I believe?
Yep, August.
Fired in August of last year after he was arrested on a domestic abuse charge by Bossier City Police. I also have learned he apparently was reinstated to SPD after he appealed his firing. Not sure when this incident occurred, when this video occurred. I would assume it's fairly recent, or it would have surfaced long before now.
So how does all this end? I don't mean the incident involving the officer and his employment, etc. Or
you don't see if the kid is arrested.
What happens on the video?
You don't see if the kid's arrested. You don't see, the rest of that. I don't believe. I'm going to go back and finish it, but I'll play some of this.
What happens?
This is just too far.
What happens at the beginning?
At the beginning, you see him coming up, and you see him yelling. He's already yelling. But he loses his cool almost from jump. Now, I'm not sure. This video doesn't start right at the beginning. Obviously, this video starts as the officer.
Do you hear music real loud just to set
No,
the
you don't
stage?
hear the music.
You don't hear music
No,
at
it's already
all.
gone. The music's already gone.
Okay.
You don't hear any of that. Obviously, when people are going to record a cop coming to their house, they're going to be doing everything right. So they've turned the music down. They're behaving. They know there's a video rolling, so they're going to behave. But the officer, his level of intensity and control, it's just too much. Too much.
And it's online now at keelnews.com.
Yeah, you can look at the video. I'm just warning you ahead of time. Don't watch this with children.
What is it, NSFW?
Yeah, not suitable for work. Be very careful because there's lots of bombs in it.
749, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic update right now. Your Money Now is next, by the way. Here's Ruben. He's on Keel.
Starting to see some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound due to a minor accident near Old Minden Road. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Get more breaking news and trending talk at KeelNews.com. KeelNews.com.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, 752 Sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. Roberts Baranowskis scored twice, and Jack Yannick added a sweet goal to help the Mudbugs beat Lone Star 3-2 in the deciding game of the North American Hockey League Division Finals Sunday night at George's Pond in Hirsch Coliseum. The win sends the second-year edition of Mudbugs to the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota, starting Friday against the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Knights. The winner of that best-of-3 series advances to the winner-take-all championship game, also in Blaine. Jackson Castor got the call in goal by Bucks coach Carlos Ziernes and rewarded him with a stellar game-winning performance. Baranowskis got the scoring started in the first period, and 9 seconds later, Yannick lit the lamp. The Brahmas made it 2-1 early in the second period, but the home team answered 3 minutes later with what turned out to be the decisive goal. LSU's NCAA baseball tournament hopes received a boost with a series win in Alex Box Stadium against fourth-ranked Arkansas thanks to Sunday's 7-5 win. Freshman A.J. Labus earned the win, going 6 innings and giving up just 1 run. The Hogs scored 4 runs in the 7th to make it a 6-5 game, but Matthew Beck picked up the save with 3 shutout innings. In the NBA playoffs, Golden State pushed New Orleans to the brink of elimination with a 116-92 rout in New Orleans to take a 3-1 series lead. And Houston also grabbed a 3-1 series lead over Utah with a 187 win in Salt Lake City. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Wow. So you were like lightning fast on this edit here.
Wow.
Very impressive. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. If you are just jumping on the radio train this morning, tell us what you're going to play, set it up for us, and then play what you were going to play.
This is a Shreveport police officer responding to a call. I'm not sure the address. We're working on that now. And apparently it was a call about loud music. And you don't hear, everything leading up to why the officer escalated so hot. But here's the officer responding to a young man who's sitting down on his carport driveway area.
Just as an aside, the video in its complete form, not edited.
Yeah, not with the beeps in it.
Is online at keelnews.com.
If you want to see it, it's
the one
there.
with the headline that says NSFW.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the audio of the officer getting a little crazy.
Worked up.
Yeah.
You put your hands on me for no reason. You're damn right I'll put my hands on you any time I want to. And you swing on me, mother. You grabbing me. You swing on me, mother. Whip your ass. Record me. Record it. Record it, man. Record me whooping his ass. You been asking for no reason. What is all this for? Don't you throw your hand up. What is all this for? Do not throw your hands up at me Again!
Did I throw my
Keep your
hand
hands
up?
up.
Did
Keep
I
your
throw
hands
my
down.
hand up? No. You touched me for no reason. I ain't doing nothing.
All you had to do was turn that music down when I asked you to.
I didn't do anything. I know my
Get
rights.
off this porch right
I know
now.
my rights.
All I did
If
was
you don't
ask
get up, I'm going to make you get
I
up.
know my rights, man. I didn't do nothing.
Go get up.
I'm getting up. I ain't stop touching you.
We got to go decaf for everybody.
Woo!
Gee
The
whiz.
video's online at KEELnews.com.
7:57. Here's Hannity.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
So much to the dismay of the abusively biased Destroy Trump media and, of course, Democrats, liberals everywhere, there's a lot of good news coming out on President Trump's economy, which, of course, liberals are trying to now credit President Obama for. Unemployment rate, 3.9%, the lowest in 18 years. Unemployment rate for black Americans dropped to a record low 6.6%. The jobless rate for Hispanic Americans fell to 4.8%, a level not seen in 12 years. And thanks to the president's pro-American trade policy, the U.S. trade deficit went from $57.7 billion to $49 billion. I wonder when the mainstream media will take a break from their fake news, stormy Russia reporting to report on some of the good news.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
They may not be your ordinary political pundits, but these days, that's a good thing. These mamas make sense. Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. Listen to Mama on American Ground Radio. Weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Still keeping a close eye on that minor accident on I-20 westbound near Old Minden Road. It has traffic backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Right now, 68 degrees, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 8 o'clock. Here's Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
8:03, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has local news up next.
A man is recovering after being hit by a train. Crews working to get George's Pond ready for the Miss USA festivities. We'll talk about that. And lawmakers have to wrap things up in a month.
Oh, my God, the Mudbugs won, and I'm so tired I can't focus my brain, but I'm still so wired.
Absolutely.
And Dr. Jeff Sato from LSUS talks about the possibility or maybe the impossibility of Diamond Jacks heading south or heading anywhere for that matter. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all this hour coming up on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Mudbugs win the NAHL Southern Division, beating Lone Star in Game 5, 3-2. Now move on to Minnesota for the Final Four showdown. Game 1 is Friday. Meantime, crews will work feverishly to get George's Pond at the Hirsch transformed into a venue suitable for all the Miss USA events, which kick off later this week. The preliminary competition is May 17th. The Miss USA pageant, May 21st. Louisiana has the worst economy in the country. Matt Parker with that.
According to the Federal Bureau of Economic Analysis, Louisiana had the worst performing economy in 2017. According to the numbers, economic output across the country rose by 2.1%. However, Louisiana's economy shrank by 0.2%. One of the biggest reasons for the Bayou State's shrinking economy is poor performance in the oil refining and chemical industries. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Lawmakers must wrap things up in a month. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says legislation that has nothing to do with the budget is close to final passage, so the regular session could end up in a couple of weeks.
You've never seen both bodies work so fast to pass all the legislation that was proposed by various members, and they've done a great job on that. They've got just about cleared all of the bills that needed to be passed.
Lawmakers expected to look at taxing measures once they go into special session. Meantime, Senator Bill Cassidy telling KEEL News lawmakers and state leaders can do a better job managing our money.
On a per capita basis, Louisiana state government gets more money in taxes than Texas does, than Alabama, Florida, or Georgia. Now, you can't help but notice you go to Houston, they're building more interstate in Houston and Harris County than we're building in the entire state of Louisiana. So we're not spending our money wisely.
Cassidy says the safety net hospitals should be a priority. A man fighting for his life after he was hit by a train Sunday night. It happened around 10:30 p.m. near the intersection of Mansfield and Midway. Police say the man was allegedly sleeping on the tracks when he was hit by the train. His legs were severed in the incident. 2 young children under age 10 were caught vandalizing the 81st Street ECE school in Shreveport. Police were called to the scene Saturday night, saw the children climbing out of a window when they arrived. According to reports, the kids caused about $10,000 worth of damage. The children will not likely face charges because of their age, but their parents will probably have to pay for some repairs. More than 900 Louisiana farmers and ranchers will get disaster grants to help them recover from the March and August 2016 floods. Louisiana's Ag Department says the average grant is close to $10,000. LaToya Cantrell takes over New Orleans today after 8 years of Mitch Landrieu. Political analyst Clancy DeBose says the former city council member's leadership style is more of a mystery than her predecessor, who was known statewide after serving as lieutenant governor.
She's
more of a question mark than Landrieu was, because Landrieu had been in public office for a long time before he became mayor. So I think expectations were higher for Landrieu.
Cantrell arrives in office with a potential major scandal in the making. Attorney General Jeff Landry investigating the former city council member for potential misuse of a credit card. College football attendance has dropped 4 straight years nationwide, but LSU officials say they've only seen a 1% drop, despite not having a 10-win season since 2013. Fans are not giving up their season tickets. Foundation President Rick Perry says, if anything, tickets are becoming even more sought after.
Our wait list is actually longer than it was last year. Based on where we are, we could actually exceed last year.
Vladimir Putin takes the oath of office for his 4th term as Russian president in a ceremony in an ornate Kremlin hall. Ohio couple startled to find a man inside their home. He'd helped himself to sweets, then fell asleep on the couch of their apartment. He has been arrested. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Hey, Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that minor accident on I-20 westbound near Old Minden Road. It has traffic backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zare.
Twelve past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Dr. Jeff Sato is a political science professor at Louisiana State University here in Shreveport. He has not been here for a while. Hey, Dr. Jeff, welcome back to KEEL. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be back.
Saw your article last week about Diamond Jacks and some of the new gambling legislation in the state, and you used a term that I have mentioned a couple of times, giving you 100% credit. It is awesome. You talk about the possible evolution to what you call amphibian casinos. Explain to everybody what that is.
Yes, well, current law, the last 25 years since riverboats have been allowed back into gambling in Louisiana, has been they've had to be on water. For a while, they actually had to have the capability to cruise, although not on the Red River. That was ditched about 20 years ago. But they've had to been on water. But what legislation advancing through legislature would do would allow them to move as many as 1,200 feet onto shore. And so what this would do is it would give them much more ability to spread out, to put additional kinds of amenities around. Even though law would restrict what kind of gaming and how many gaming stations and the like would have. But from the boat's perspective, this is certainly something that would generate more revenue if they're able to do this.
They've also got bills with regard to gaming space, etc. Which of, if any of these bills, do you anticipate will pass?
Well, the space bill, so to speak, is one that looks like it's going to do that. There's been some modifications made to it originally that aren't as favorable to gambling interests. But if it does, it's still going to allow modest expansion of that. I think that's going to go through. Looks like as well some laws dealing with truck stops and video poker, basically loosening up the requirements there. That's looking pretty good as well.
I think no, go ahead.
The move of Diamond Jacks to Tangipahoa Parish looks to be dead. But what about the move of Diamond Jacks elsewhere? Where are we on that?
And on top of that, what would it take to keep it here? And does the owner have any interest in staying?
As far as the last question, I don't know. It seems to me that from the beginning, just this talk about renegotiating the like was basically just was talk. But now the options are a lot slimmer. The move to Tangipahoa is out. The owners have said that they want to go to some place that is underserved, but you look at what's available out there according to law, and there's just not any of that left to go to. So really the only areas that are there presently are ones that already have lots of boats, or enough boats, let's say. And so, in terms of moving, I don't know that they have that many options. Really the only thing that's kind of in play, it's being discussed, but I don't think it's going to pass, is to open up Monroe to that. But I don't think that's going to go anywhere.
They don't want to move because they're making money. Is it possible, if they can't get the okay from the legislature to go somewhere else, that the owners may say, okay, well, screw it, we'll shut it down then, and we'll worry about we'll solve our next problem then?
Yeah, it's happened before where licenses have basically been given up. And that's a business decision. If they don't think they can make more money than it costs them to run the thing, well, then that's something that could happen. But I think the bias is there to try to make it happen. Again, it's just a matter of the costs not exceeding the revenues, and as you alluded to, that may come down to whatever can be offered locally.
You have written the property where Diamond Jacks is now has plenty of space onto which it could shift operations. I mean, they have room where they could build if this amphibious legislation passes. And behind that, you say this would also take the pressure off local government entities to pony up large inducements to stay. Are you thinking there's some discussions behind the scenes with Bossier City to do something to keep Diamond Jacks here?
Well, certainly. I mean, the owners would be foolish not to explore that option, and vice versa from the local governments. But certainly, if legislation passes that allows the 1,200-foot incursion on the land, that's something that would work to Diamond Jack's favor, maybe more than anybody else here in the market, because they do have a lot of space out there. And that may be the saving grace that either keeps the boat here or keeps it in operation here.
Where do the other boats like El Dorado, Sam's Town, the others, where do they have space to go? Is it up? Is that it?
Yeah, they really don't. The 1,200-foot rule is not going to help them very much. They might be able to move on to land and move a few things around, but just looking at it doesn't seem like it would. So, again, Diamond Jacks probably more than anybody else. Margaritaville, Horseshoe maybe to a lesser extent. it's going to help them.
A couple of weeks ago, we had state gaming control guy Ronnie Jones on, and I asked him this question, and he did not answer it directly, but I will repeat the question to you. Have we in Louisiana legislatively painted ourselves into such a corner when it comes to gaming, gambling rules for casinos, etc.? Have we painted ourselves into such a corner that we really can't compete with those Oklahoma mega casinos and the ones that are taking business away from us?
Well, we just look next door to Mississippi, which has a completely different regulatory regime. Basically, no caps on a number of casinos, no caps on size and amenities and things like that. They do seem to be operating in a healthier environment as far as gambling goes. So, I think there is some truth to the fact that these competing pressures, have this thing in here, but we really want to kind of keep it caged to prevent all these bad spillover effects. That has created some competitiveness problems, I think.
I mean, okay, competitive problems. In the end, unless we do some radical changes legally, legislatively, we're just in big trouble, yeah?
I don't know if it's trouble, but certainly the market's not going to expand the way that a lot of people thought it would. Again, though, it's a matter of competing pressure. I mean, politically, people want two somewhat irreconcilable things, and so, kind of the more limited potential that we have here, maybe that's the best that can happen.
Dr. Jeff Sato, one more thing. Your piece, you say, if Senate Bill 316, which is the one that allows the boats to expand, goes all the way, I'm quoting you now, that doesn't mean Diamond Jack stays, but chances of that have gone from practically zero to approaching 100%. You still feel the same today?
Yeah, I think that's the safest bet right now is they're going to, at least owners for a little while, they're at least going to try and make it work, see how that legislation plays out. It doesn't mean that, in some years that they won't move, but certainly if you plunk down a lot of money on this, they're going to give it a go.
And expanding gambling for our 6 boats, it's going to mean jobs if they're building, bigger and better things, correct?
Yeah, potentially. If you can expand them and create a bigger marketplace, then that's going to help. But again, you have to wonder if, regardless of whether you expand, go on land and all that, whether naturally the market is there to be able to do that. I guess, we're going to find out.
Slots run themselves. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Dr. Jeff, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Dr. Jeff Sato, LSUS, political science guy. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 21 past 8 o'clock. Here's Ruben, traffic time.
Starting to see some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound due to a minor accident near Old Minden Road. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
22 past 8 o'clock.
Wow.
I know. Good thing they weren't here.
No kidding.
22 past 8 o'clock. Sports update on KEEL.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. Roberts Baranowskis scored twice, and Jack Yannick added a sweet goal to help the Mudbugs beat Lone Star 3-2 in the deciding game of the North American Hockey League Division Finals Sunday night at George's Pond in Hirsch Coliseum. The win sends the second-year edition of Mudbugs to the NAHL semifinals in Blaine, Minnesota, starting Friday against the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Knights. The winner of that best-of-3 series advances to the winner-take-all championship game, also in Blaine. Jackson Castor got the call in goal by Bucks coach Carlos Ziernes and rewarded him with a stellar game-winning performance. Baranowskis got the scoring started in the first period, and 9 seconds later, Yannick lit the lamp. The Brahmas made it 2-1 early in the second period, but the home team answered 3 minutes later with what turned out to be the decisive goal. LSU's NCAA baseball tournament hopes received a boost with a series win in Alex Box Stadium against fourth-ranked Arkansas thanks to Sunday's 7-5 win. Freshman A.J. Labus earned the win, going 6 innings and giving up just 1 run. The Hogs scored 4 runs in the 7th to make it a 6-5 game, but Matthew Beck picked up the save with 3 shutout innings. In the NBA playoffs, Golden State pushed New Orleans to the brink of elimination with a 116-92 rout in New Orleans to take a 3-1 series lead. And Houston also grabbed a 3-1 series lead over Utah with a 187 win in Salt Lake City. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-five past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mudbugs Game 5, deciding Game 5 in that best-of-5 series against Lone Star for the Southern Division Championship last night. Mudbugs win 3-2. If you look on my Facebook page, in fact, pull that up because it pretty much sums up.
He'll have to.
Can you grab that real quick? It basically, I couldn't look up. I literally, well, you don't need to pull it up. We'll just talk about it.
Okay.
From the public address from my PA announcer's chair, the last 5 minutes of the game, I didn't look up. I was too nervous.
I'm with you.
From the music director's booth high above the palatial ceiling of George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum. What did you tell me?
Oh, for about the last minute and a half, I just closed my eyes and look away. The guy next to me that runs the lights had to slap me when it was time to play something because I wasn't paying zero attention.
Because he wasn't paying attention. The play would stop and he's supposed to hit the music. As soon as the whistle blows, he hits the music. Well, last night the referee would blow the whistle and be 2, 3, 4. Then the music was, because his eyes were closed, he was too nervous to watch.
They were just driving down on the Mudbugs net. It was 3-2, and I was like, "Oh God, we're going to overtime. I can't watch this."
It was the last.
Did we really score 2 goals in like 9 seconds?
9 seconds.
That's early on.
2 goals in 9 seconds.
So we jumped out to a 2-0 lead.
Scored a power play goal. I want to say about 4 or 5 minutes in. Then on the ensuing face-off, Roberts Baranowskis scored on the power play, and then Jack Yannick scored literally 9 seconds later off the face-off. So, yes. So it's 2-0 at the end of the first period. Lone Star scores a goal at the start of the second. It becomes 2-1. the tension heightens. The mounting is tension. Wait, I have it backwards. The tension is mounting, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Then the Mudbugs score again in the second to make it 3-1. Lone Star scores midway through the third. It's 3-2. And then it really gets intense. But they held them off. Mudbugs go to the Final Four. See, the North American Hockey League, they play their 4-division champions, which is now Shreveport Mudbugs, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton or Scranton-Wilkes-Barre cousin kissers.
No, the Fighting Amish. Let's get the team
not
right.
cousin kissers.
The Fighting Amish. The Fairbanks, Alaska Blubbersuckers.
Wow.
And look, if you've been to Fairbanks, Alaska, they have they have video stores there.
Yeah.
Blockbusters thrive. And then the last one is Minot, North Dakota, which is for 20 days a year one of the most beautiful towns in America.
So who do we play and when?
We play Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre on Friday. It's a best-of-3 series.
The Amish.
Yes.
Where is that?
That's
Where do we
in
play them?
Blaine, Minnesota, which is just outside of Duluth.
Okay.
They do a central location for the Final Four for a couple of reasons.
Minnesota's way closer to Pennsylvania than to Shreveport.
One, well, planes
ain't fair.
Planes go almost everywhere now. It'll be okay.
Yeah, okay.
They're
not riding a bus.
A central location means we don't have to play a home-and-home series against the Fairbanks, Alaska team.
Gotcha.
That could take a lot of traveling.
So is it best of 5? What is it?
The semifinals are best of 3.
Ooh.
The finals is like a best-of-7 series except for one small thing. They don't play the first 6 games.
It's the finals is one game?
One game.
So you play Friday, Saturday, Sunday if needed.
And Monday.
And Monday night is the finals?
Right.
Holy cannolis, Batman. Wow.
So what's your question? You look like you have questions.
That's a stressful weekend.
Well, yeah.
Especially if you go to 3 games.
Uh-huh.
And the other 2 are we're against Pennsylvania. The other are Alaska.
Minot, North Dakota against Fairbanks. Yes. And then the winners of those series play a single game for the championship on Monday night. The league's reasoning behind that is that it to accentuate its developmental league status.
Yeah.
That it's not all about a championship, that it's not all about winning, that it's about developing players and getting them ready for the next level, be it the pros or a major college program.
What's the championship trophy called? What are we fighting
for? The Robertson Cup.
The Robertson Cup.
And it's about the size.
It's a big cup?
It's about the size of your Godzilla sign behind you.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty awesome.
I want to see that.
So, you can find a photo probably on the Mudbugs
Will they
page.
bring it in here one morning if they win it?
I think so. We could convince them.
Oh, cool.
So, Mudbugs, 3, maybe 4 more games in Blaine, Minnesota against Wilkes-Barre against Wilkes-Barre on Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday. And then the championship game when they advance on Monday against the winner of Fairbanks and Minot.
Coming back, we're going to, this video of a Shreveport police officer kind of losing his cool.
Yeah.
This video's going crazy.
And Matt just keeps getting older and older, and he realizes that.
We're going to put the beeps in it, and we'll let you hear what the officer did.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we're still dealing with some heavy backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound due to a minor accident on Old Minden Road. It has things backed up to Industrial Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
information. KEEL News now.
The regular session must end in a month, but many believe it will end in mid-May so lawmakers can pass tax bills to address a $648 million shortfall. Bernie Pincinat says it remains to be seen if the Senate will act on the proposed budget or just wait for an anticipated special session.
If they can't pass a budget, then we're in unknown, uncharted territories where they would immediately probably go into a special session trying to pass a budget and pass the revenue that's needed to fund the budget.
U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy has some advice for lawmakers. He says that safety net hospitals should be a priority.
We have to be able to support those hospitals, but we have to spend the money we have wisely. Taxpayers are giving that money to the state government. You have to treat it like it's your own. But we have to spend the money we have wisely. Taxpayers are giving that money to the state government. You have to treat it like it's your own.
Economy last year, according to the numbers, economic output across the country rose by 2.1%. However, Louisiana's economy shrank by 2%. Bossier Parish to look at new ordinances. Matt Parker with that.
The Bossier Parish Police Jury will soon take a look at ordinances to regulate billboards and cellular towers. Currently, there are no rules in place that regulates the size of either or how far they must be from residential neighborhoods. Sam Marsiglia from the Bossier Metropolitan Planning Commission says that with the advancements of technology, Bossier needs to take a look at regulating LED billboards that keep them from lighting up residential areas. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man fighting for his life after he was hit by a train last night. It happened about 10:30 near Mansfield and Midway. He was apparently sleeping on the tracks when he was hit by the train. His legs were severed. He was taken to University Health. 2 children under the age of 10 caught vandalizing the 81st Street ECE school in Shreveport. Police were called to the scene Saturday night, and when they got there, spotted the children climbing out of a window. According to reports, the kids caused about $10,000 worth of damage. A study is out reveals overwhelmingly that most workers and managers believe that what you wear to work has an impact on your chances of getting that big promotion. 80% of managers and 86% of workers feel that clothing affects your promotion chances. Office team president Brandy Britton says the old adage is still true.
Dress in the position that you want to be in. That old adage is still in place today. And if you are not sure, look at the employees around you and take it up a notch.
A light earthquake has shaken the Gulf of Mexico south of the Louisiana coast. It registered 4.6 on the Richter scale. The Mudbugs win the NAHL Southern Division, beating Lone Star in Game 5, 3-2. Now move on to Minnesota for the Final Four showdown. Meantime, crews will work feverishly to get George's Pond at the Hirsch transformed into a venue suitable for all the Miss USA events, which kick off later this week. The preliminary competition is May 17th, the Miss USA pageant, May 21st. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Would you stop that?
I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you were.
That was on the song.
You never do that with your mouth. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, it's 8:37.
You're bad today.
I'm
like a sixth grader.
Reporting on what I'm seeing, my friend.
Man.
So, it's at KEELnews.com. Tell me about this.
This is a video that has surfaced online on social media of a Shreveport police officer kind of losing it when he responding to a call about loud music.
Give me a little background on this.
Not sure when the call was made, but I know someone at the home videotaped it. I guess a neighbor called saying that music was too loud. Could the officers respond? Well, when officers respond, there's a young man sitting kind of on the porch at the home outside, and the officer involved don't know what escalated his temper to how hot it got, but his temper got really hot. And you can see the video with, mind you, with very foul language in it at KEELnews.com. I've got the audio here where Matt's helped me put some beeps in it because we needed a lot of beeps. But here's kind of how this call went. It's just under a minute, so bear with us. I hope we got all the beeps where they need to be.
You put your hands on me for no reason.
Damn right, I'll put my hands on you any time I want to. And you swing on me, mother.
You grabbing me.
You swing on me, mother. Whip your ass.
Record me.
Record it.
Record it, man.
Record me whooping his ass.
You've been extra for no reason. What is all this for?
Don't you throw your hand
up. What is all this for?
Do not throw your hands up at me again.
Did I throw my hands up? Keep your hands up. No. You touched me for no reason. I ain't doing nothing.
All you had to do was turn that music down when I asked you to.
I didn't do anything. I know my rights.
Get off this porch right now.
My rights.
All I did
If
was
you don't get up, I'm going to make you get up.
I know my rights, man. I didn't do nothing. Get up. I'm getting up, man. Stop touching me.
You know, at that point, I'm turning my radio down.
Yeah. He'd already turned, the music's already turned down.
Yeah.
He's got somebody filming. The officer, now I have learned the officer involved that was losing his temper was Gary Thomas, who was fired, Matt, August of last year?
Yeah, August.
He'd been arrested by Bossier City Police on domestic battery charge and some other charges and was fired by SPD. I'm told that he apparently was reinstated after appealing his firing.
Has Chief Crump or anyone with the SPD commented? Do they have any response or explanation?
Yes. They issued this statement over the weekend, and I'm quoting, Shreveport Police Chief Alan Crump has ordered an inquiry into a video which recently surfaced on social media in which a Shreveport Police patrol officer is seen engaging a man in a manner not in line with departmental practices. A preliminary investigation into the officer's actions is underway, and appropriate personnel actions will be administered according to departmental policy.
I mean, he went full Kinnison on there from what I could hear.
That's a little bit much. And
so it's online right now, KEELnews.com. And
I'm warning you, the online version has got all the foul language. There's no beeps on that video. So just don't show it in front of kids. Don't show it in front of the boss. You know, if your work doesn't allow foul language, don't fire it up right then.
8:39, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Ruben's here.
We have reports of a minor accident on Mansfield Road near Westport Coons Industrial Loop. And we're still keeping an eye on that minor accident on I-20 westbound near Old Minden Road. It has traffic backed up to Industrial Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Warm today with plenty of sunshine and a high of 88. Clear, low 65 tonight, then partly sunny and very warm with a high of 90 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
No. I don't have time to do what I wanted to do, but we'll do that tomorrow morning, I promise. And it was about Matt getting older and older every day.
I just want to hear this voice.
And he realizes it. There's no vocals on that.
Oh, man, I want to hear that.
You've already been whistling, and all the oxygen has been sucked out of the room.
Yeah, I got to take my stir.
842, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. You got another email from the governor's office, and it has to do with me again.
Yeah.
But I think what it really has to do with is, well, look, I'll let you read it, and this time, since I know what's in it, you sprung this on me this morning, and I went full McCarty.
Right.
Speaking of, I went full Kinnison. I was rendered inarticulate by my frustration at the stance. Well, look. You have it in front of you.
Yeah, I do.
And this...
Can I use my special voice, or is that disrespectful?
It's just do whatever voice you want to do.
Good.
And then I will respond if a response is necessary. But to say, as it does in this email, that the governor is... It mentions that I said... I didn't say John Bell was for increased taxes. John Bell's actions have shown that he is for increased taxes.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that was for a 24-cent a gallon gas tax increase.
Can I read this email? When I read each line, can I read what he's really saying? Can I tell? Because I read it two different ways. I want to do that. It'll be fun.
Okay.
But I'll leave the foul language out. Because I know there's foul language intended.
You know this kind of freaks me out
I
a
know,
little bit.
I know.
And you just go ahead.
This is coming from the Deputy Chief of Staff for Governor John Bell Edwards.
I'm going to regret bringing this up.
Yeah, you are. Erin, can I ask what this is about? Quote, John Bell for increased minimum wage, but higher taxes too?
Well, he
That's
is
a
for
quote,
higher taxes, and he is for an increased minimum wage.
Yeah.
I mean, what about that do they dispute?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get into it. You ready?
Go ahead.
I would copy Robert on this email, but I don't have his contact info.
I will give you $20
here's
not
what
to
he
give
was
them
really,
my contact info.
Here was he was really saying there.
Go ahead.
I'd send this to that idiot too, but I don't know how to get in touch with that bozo.
Fair enough.
Then he goes on, I don't mean to be short. I'm pissed is what he's really saying.
Basically.
But you guys have made a habit of criticizing the governor and being disrespectful on the air, but don't give us a chance to respond.
Yeah, I'm going into governor abuse rehab.
You guys are driving us nuts, and we want you to stop it now.
Okay.
Louisiana is only one of 5 states without a state minimum wage. Louisiana needs to help our people. That's what he's saying. To suggest that the governor's only doing it because it could possibly bring in more state taxes is absolutely absurd.
Wait. Stop.
You guys are so lying to everybody. This is not what the governor's planning to do.
So the governor's reason, the logic behind his wanting to raise taxes is not to bring in increased revenue? Is that what he just said? Read me that line again.
To suggest that the governor is only doing it. He's talking about the minimum wage here. To suggest that the governor is only doing it because it could possibly bring in more state taxes.
Well, I didn't say that's the only reason.
It's absolutely absurd.
It's the only reason, but I think it's just like, see, that I'm going full McCarty again.
Yep.
I can feel.
Here's the best part.
The bile is like a thermometer, and it's just rising and rising and rising, and it makes me want to like.
Well, swallow, keep that bile down for just one more moment. I realize you and Robert have your opinions. We know that y'all are idiots, and you disagree with the governor, and you don't know what you're talking about. But given that he and his staff are routinely accessible to you, never call us back. That's what I'm saying. No, they have until recently. I would hope that you would, at the very least, give us the opportunity to respond to the ridiculous and often misinformed claims you've made about him on the air lately. Is this what we can continue to expect from KEEL?
Yeah. Yeah. The governor is for tax increases. He was for a gas tax increase. He was for an income tax increase. He wanted the equivalent of bring back Stelly. There's any number of revenue enhancements, registration fees, and tax increases that the governor has championed.
The last time I asked the governor on the show was the Friday for your birthday, and it was just a wish Robert a happy birthday. It wasn't even a get controversial. The governor is unavailable. Thanks for inquiring.
And I've also pointed out when it comes to the minimum wage that there is no small irony. And the point I made about the minimum wage had to do with the gas tax.
Mm-hmm.
That on one hand, the governor is backing a minimum wage increase, but on the other hand, backing a 24-cent a gallon gas tax increase that literally would give back to the state a portion of the minimum wage that he favors. That's what I said. That to me doesn't make sense. On one hand, you want to mandate increased cost on the part of employers so that on the other hand, you can take a chunk of that back from the very disadvantaged people you claim to be wanting to assist.
Right.
That's what I said. Basically, what he said in his email. 849, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic and weather update. Let's go now. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we're still dealing with some heavy backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound due to a minor accident on Old Minden Road. It has things backed up to Industrial Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687.
Here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of sunny today.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
According to a new Reuters poll, the percentage of black males who support the job Donald Trump is doing doubled from 11% to 22% in just 1 week.
This explains a lot. That's why Representative Maxine Waters wants Kanye to just shut up, because all of his pro-Trump tweets are obviously leading to the popularity of the president in the black community. She says Kanye is talking out of turn, and perhaps he needs some assistance in helping him formulate some of his thoughts.
If the Democrat Party thinks they're going to re-educate Kanye West, they are wrong. But his statements could be an existential threat to the party.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 1017 FM and 710 Keel, and streaming live at KeelNews.com.
Man, I'm a tool moron. I just want you to know that.
I beg your pardon?
I'm a tool moron.
Well, I'm a moron tool, so it balances out. 855, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. So what did you do this weekend?
I had to do some drilling.
I beg your pardon?
I had to do some drilling with a drill.
You're responsible for that earthquake?
No, that wasn't me. and I hate to admit this on the air publicly.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't know how to get the bit out of it. How do you get the drill bit out of it? I'm like, I need a different bit. How do you get the drill bit out? I'm like squeezing it, pushing it in, pulling it out. And then finally I called a manly man of mine, friend of mine, and he goes, just twist.
Did you say, I'm sorry, I called
a manly man.
A manly man
and
friend of mine?
And you know what he said to me? He goes, you have to turn the chuck. And I'm like, what is a chuck?
Yeah.
And he goes, it's the black thing on the end. Turn that and the little things will open up. Then you can put the new bit in. You take the old bit out and put the new bit in. So I'm really a tool moron. I really am.
Yeah.
I really am. But I managed it. I got the bit in.
Yeah.
I got the holes drilled.
What, in fact, were you drilling?
I was putting up curtain rods. I was putting up a little hook thing to hang my keys on.
That's awesome.
I was putting up some pictures that
In other words, you destroy your new walls.
No. I measured. I put the holes right where I wanted them. I did everything by the book, except the damn drill bit. Who knew how to get a drill bit out? I didn't know. What the heck's a chuck?
Gotta go. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
If you had believed the tech news chatter over the last couple of months, you might think that Apple's on the verge of collapse because of poor iPhone 10 sales. But as it turns out, America's best-known investor wasn't buying it. Kim Commando with your Monday Consumer Tech Update. Late Thursday afternoon, despite news that Apple's iPhone didn't sell well, Warren Buffett scooped up 75 million shares of Apple stock to bring his total Apple ownership to 240 million shares. Buffett says to the Wall Street analysts, if you're judging Apple on its iPhone sales alone, you're doing it all wrong. You don't buy a farm based on whether you think it's going to rain next year. Buy if it's a good investment over the next 10 to 20 years. Apple earns $60 billion a year, twice as much as the second most profitable company in America. But you can put all their products on your dining room table. So take a lesson from Warren Buffett. Tune out the quarter-by-quarter analysts and their scare tactics. Never assume that Apple is down for the count. I'm Kim Commando. It's vital to protect your home and family with a home security system without sacrificing your privacy. That's what I love about SimpliSafe. You'll get an HD camera that you control from your phone. You'll see what's going on when you're away, which is great. But what about your camera and your privacy when you're at home? SimpliSafe has a solution. When the camera's on, you'll see a small indicator light. When it's off, so is the light. SimpliSafe designed this camera with a privacy shutter. When you hear it click, you know the shutter's closed. Even the world's best hacker can't see through SimpliSafe's thin, lightweight aluminum privacy camera shutter. It works every time. It's details like these that set SimpliSafe apart as the best security system for your home, your family, your peace of mind, and your personal privacy. SimpliSafe isn't just home security, it's home security done right. So check out SimpliSafe for yourself today at simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com, simplysafekim.com.
The intersection at Line Avenue and Kings Highway is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that minor accident on I-20 westbound near Old Minden Road. It has traffic backed up to Industrial Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine with a warm high of 88 today, then clear with a low of 65 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, very warm, high 90. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.